is Shelby Knoll.
I'm Burley Johnson.
I'm Avery Christensen.
I'm Lydia Jura.
And the title of our performance is Saying Bonjour to Equality. The Hello Girls answer the call to achieve victory at home and abroad during World War I. For their role as pioneers who paved the way for all women in uniform, and for service that was essential to victory in World War I,
Merle Egan Anderson.
Louise LeBreton merit similar recognition as military veterans.
Pearl, it's Louise. Did a soldier just present you with a medal?
Yes, and I am so honored. We now get the status and benefits we deserve, only it is nearly 60 years too late.
I know. We were the unrecognized first women to fight alongside men during World War I.
I wish all of the girls could be here, but only 31 of the 223 Army Signal Corps telephone operators are left. They deserve their medals too, but instead, they were buried with flagless coffins.
Do you remember all the fighting? At home and abroad. It was tragic. Remember the suffrage protests? I remember like it was yesterday.
When shall the notes of women's triumph ring clear and strong, while all the nations join in singing freedom's universal song?
Why are so many women supporting the suffrage movement? In the Bible, women's involvement always leads to ruin. What makes these people think it's any different now?
It's disgusting and useless. My role is to stay at home and take care of my children. I can't stay updated on politics, and besides, I would just vote for whoever my husband is voting for.
Ladies, there's our outdated idealist president. Mr. Wilson, how long must women wait for liberty?
I'm sorry, ladies, but if women cannot defend their country through military service, it isn't sensible to let them have a say in those decisions.
Oh, I'm sorry, that party didn't answer.
Yes, sir, I'll connect you. You're welcome.
It's been such a long day. Our hands have been darting around these boards like hummingbirds.
But we really do love our jobs. This is the best, most well-paid opportunity for women in white-collared employment.
The Army calls telephone girls.
Grace, what is that?
They need women for the war, women operators who can speak French. We all can speak French.
The newspaper states that we would work in between the artillery commanders and our own American doughboys fighting in the trenches. We would train at the AT&T headquarters in New York City. There are mental and physical examinations, as well as language tests.
General Pershing says that our girls are equipped to handle 300 calls per hour. Women can connect roughly 5 calls in the time it takes a man to complete one. You bet we can. He requested 100. It can't hurt to apply.
I've always wanted to be one of those new women. Ever since my brother was drafted, I wanted to contribute to our nation's success in the Great War.
We would be the first women to actively serve close to the front lines and fight for our country in a way that no woman has ever fought before.
I, Merle Egan,
Louise LeBreton,
Alita Jour,
Grace Banker,
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
Nemo, can you
just
find
hear
the
me?
secretary?
Commencing fire.
Commencing fire.
Fire to no 12.
Fire for effect.
40 back.
Right 40, up 40.
Do you copy?
it has been hard to adjust to the heavy noise of the artillery, even though we have been here for months. I thought that I would have gotten used to it by now. We arrived in France March 1918, and there is no telling when the war is going to be over. On the journey over the Atlantic Ocean, I was terrified that our ship was going to be sunk by German U-boats.
Every day, I go to work hearing artillery shells screaming over my head. I connect calls and translate the words of stressed and sometimes even incoherent men. Once, I slept only 2 hours in 2 days because of how many calls the girls and I had to connect.
We were right on the front lines, but we weren't treated equally right away. One of our first steps toward acceptance by our male counterparts was the adoption of our nickname, the Hello Girls, in the military. It represents a family-like bond between us and the Doughboys. However, our pay is slightly different, and we had to buy our own uniforms.
At one point, our barracks caught fire from a bombardment. We continued to transfer calls until we were threatened with the court-martial at Chaumont for disobeying orders to leave. We returned to work less than an hour later. Everyone said we should have left earlier, but how could we? So many lives were depending on us. May 4th, 1918. Dear Mr. President, I'm a chief operator for the Army Signal Corps. While my fellow women are fighting for suffrage back home, the women over here are fighting for the country and government who refuse to give us the vote. I know that General Pershing has informed you about our service. I hope that his words can persuade you to put well-deserved equality before flawed ideology. Sincerely, Grace Banker.
On this day, September 30th, 1918, as I stand in the Senate chamber, I am speaking before Congress to guarantee women the right to vote. This war could not have been fought without the services of women. Are we alone to ask and take the utmost that our women could give, service and sacrifice of every kind, and still say that we do not see what title that gives them?
Hello, my name is Grace. I worked overseas in France. I would like to withdraw the money that...
Hello, my name is Merle Egan. I would like to withdraw the money
Hello, I'm here to ensure the benefits that...
Hello, I'm here to apply for my bonus and tax benefits that I was
Promised by the War Department. What? What do you mean there is nothing there?
I did not think that I would be denied veteran status in the eyes of my own government.
I was told that I would be granted $60 when I returned from France.
I took the oath. Who are you to deny me my veteran benefits? January 21st, 1920. Dear Diary, the 19th Amendment was ratified in August, finally granting women the right to vote. However, the War Department has not recognized the Hello Girls as veterans, even though we stayed in France for the Paris Peace Conference.
November 30th, 1942. Dear Diary, my daughter just informed me that she will be enlisting with the Women's Air Force Service Pilots. I am so glad that our work as first women soldiers has inspired women to take their place alongside men in the United States military.
June 12, 1948. Dear Diary, Congress just passed the Women's Armed Services Integration Act, giving women permanent status in the military and military authority with veteran benefits.
May 1st, 1975. Dear Diary, the Vietnam War just ended with over 7,000 women serving overseas. They obtained benefits and recognition, but we still have not.
November 23rd, 1977. Dear Diary,
the day has finally come. I can't believe it. I know that many of us are in our late 80s. However, I am now at peace knowing that our battle has been won.
I still remember when we won round one. Congress passed the bill and President Jimmy Carter signed it into law.
Yes, Louise, I remember it like it was yesterday. I deserve this medal for fighting in France, but I also deserve it for fighting the U.S. Army for 60 years and winning.
Oh, Merle, I know. If we hadn't been recognized and received our benefits, future generations of women may not have been able to triumph.
Just look at all the different groups of women in the military, like the Waves, the WACs, the WASPs, and so many more. It all started with our own personal tragedy, but it ended up pushing women to start standing up for themselves.
In 2013, the ban against women in combat was removed by the Pentagon. Now, women are finally allowed to fight on the front lines alongside men.
While the suffragists fought for the right to vote at home, it was the military service of the Hello Girls that negated one of the last arguments against women's suffrage.
In 2018, the 116th Congress passed a bill granting the Hello Girls the Congressional Gold Medal.
Many of the Hello Girls had passed, but their families stood in their places to see what their mothers and grandmothers deserved.
To triumph, they had to go through many tragedies at home and abroad.
From female combat roles to voting rights,
Our Hello Girls have left their triumphant mark on both history and the present.
In the tragedy that was World War I, the Hello Girls had to suffer personally in order to bring triumph for women throughout America.